Upadesamrta, verse 3. Utsāhān-niścayād dhairyāt, tat karma pravartanat, sangatyagat sato vrite, shadbir bhakti prasiddhyati. Translation. Eagerness, confidence, forbearance, following the spiritual practices ordained by the scriptures, giving up the company of materialists, and following in the footsteps of the pure Sādhus. These 6 practices enhance devotion. Illumination. Eagerness should always be to serve the wishes of the highest plane of Krishna Bhakti. That is very, very, very rarely to be found in this mundane world. We shall be eager to catch the telegraphic language of the highest plane. We must try to catch that and be subservient to that. That should be the nature of our quest and the utilization of our energy. How to develop that? With the contact of the sadhu and with the help of the scriptures, we can try to increase that inner feeling, that inner demand. That inner demand can only be satisfied by Krishna consciousness. The source of eagerness is only from a real sadhu. We will find some interest to hear about the Lord from him. The proper beginning is there. The bhakti school is independent of varnashram or gyan, etc. One may not be a wise man. One may not be a very energetic man. One may not be master of opulence and other powers. Only the minimum is demanded from him, that he has very earnest hunger. He must have the smallest taste for the Lord. He must find some sweetness, some taste in his words, in his affairs, when it is coming from a proper source, through a genuine sadhu, a proper agent. That taste will take him farther, and gradually into the highest domain. Lolyam api mulyam ekalam. The only passage money is our sincere inclination. The heart's natural flow, that is the passage money, nothing else. Our sincere earnestness to get that is the only price we have to pay in advance. No other price but earnest desire. It is not to be purchased by any money or anything else which is acquired by so many formal practices in millions of births. Substance is necessary, and not form. Form may be adopted only as much as it may connect me with that higher thing. Sarva dharman parityaja. Give up all phases of duty that you perceive as perfect. At once, try to jump into the ocean of nectar. I am the ocean of nectar. Try to jump. That is the direct teaching. Our addiction to this or that, to vanapras dharma, sannyas dharma, or grihastha dharma, has got very negligent value. But earnest desire, that is to be acquired by any means. That is bhakti proper. Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukriter nalabhyate. The only price to pay is intense eagerness that is not obtained even after millions of births. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 870. Not by your good deeds that you have acquired in your previous innumerable paths. That is not taken in account. Only the recognition of the sincere earnestness within you. The very gist of your ego they want. That is their demand. And that plane is built up with that material. The most sincere part of the heart. That is the material by which that domain has been created. It is eternal, but it is with that substance. Back to home of your eternal inner self. Externally, by so many of our demands for the senses, we are being carried forcibly in this direction and that direction, dragging us here and there. We have to find out our innermost existence. That is to be a member of Vṛndāvana. Confidence. Confidence means rakshishyati vishvaso, expecting the Lord's protection. That is a particular stage of Sharanagati. I will have so much confidence that he will protect me from any danger. One may run to protect oneself knowing there is danger, but still he is thinking, my guardian will save me. Whom do I care for? I don't care for anyone. He is my master, and he is there on my head. He will protect me. There is no necessity of any apprehension from any quarter at all. Sharanagati reaches to such a zenith, to such a height, that not only will he save me if I go on in a right way, I shall risk everything for the Lord, and if necessary, he may come to my relief. Such audacious aggression is there. This may be found in all stages. That particular mentality is there in the ordinary soldier. He has got confidence in his general. They may take the risk of entering the camp of the enemy thinking, the general will come and devastate them. It may be found in many places, in many stages of life, but here that confidence is found not in this world, but in the highest quarter. That sort of confidence, that, for whom do we care? So much indulgence they enjoy, so much confidence they enjoy, so much faith they have in their protector, that they do not care about anyone or anything. They will even go to catch a snake or a tiger. Jiva Goswami Prabhu has discussed that Goptritve Varana, praying for the Lord's shelter, is the main thing in the whole of Sharanagati. That is the whole gist, the substance. To pray to him for his shelter. You are my protector. That is the main thing in the whole of Sharanagati, and all others are subsidiary. To maintain the faith that he will save us, he cannot but do this. The question will remain whether I have surrendered totally or not. My ego, has it allowed me to surrender to his holy feet fully, or is it self-deception? The question is there. There is no doubt that if anyone surrenders to him totally, he will protect him. That is unquestionable. But the question remains here, whether I have successfully surrendered myself to him or not. Self-analysis. That is the truth. It is his intrinsic nature that at all times, his eternal habit is that he will protect whoever comes under the shelter of his protection. That is one of his intrinsic characteristics. It cannot be otherwise. However, the question is only whether I could surrender to him or not. To offer one's own self, to cast one's own self to his custody, and at the same time to go on with the idea that he will surely protect me. The example is given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The cowboys are welcoming so many risks in their life, backed by the confidence that my friend is there, and he will surely protect me. Raksha karabi tuhun niścayād jani, pana karabhun hama yamuna pani, kaliya dhoka karabi vinasha, shodhabi nadi jala badaubi asha. I am confident that you will protect me. Therefore I will drink the waters of the Yamuna. The venom of Kaliya will be vanquished. You will purify the waters of the Yamuna, and such heroic acts will increase our faith. From Sharanagati 3:23, 5 and 6. In a part of the Yamuna, a serpent was living, and his poison contaminated the whole area. But the cowherd friends of Krishna did not care for that. At the bottom of their heart, they were so confident of Krishna's continuous assistance at their back. They were going and rushing towards that poisonous thing and swallowing poison. Oh, Krishna is at our back. Whom do I fear? We don't fear anyone. They are going into the Kaliya Ghat, that poisonous place on the Yamuna, and they are drinking that water and fainting, but without any fear. My friend is there. We do not care for any poison or anything. He will save us. He will protect us. They went ahead to invite danger with that confidence. We don't care for any danger because our support, our friend is there, who has got some supernatural power. Then Krishna had to go and again revive them from the poisonous effect. Generally, they are always in a position that they do not want that you protect me. Very rarely, as in the case of Govardhan, where the whole locality prayed for protection from Indra, the king of heaven, when his annual worship was closed. Indra was very much enraged, and he wanted to punish the general section of that Goshta by heavy rain, hail, storm, and thunder. Then all the Goshta came and took refuge of Krishna. You protect us from this great destruction. And Krishna managed. Otherwise, they are always fostering this idea that he is there, our protector. We do not care for anything else. We are not afraid of any danger. He is there. He cannot but protect us. That is the idea they maintain. In Sakya Ras, that Rakshishyati Vishvaso is very, very clear, and at the same time there is some challenging at the time of play. You could not do this. I gained over you. You failed. Such homely play. God and his servant appear to be in equal positions on the surface. Sometimes the Lord even holds a lower position. Family life, sweet family life, and the devotees of the higher type see devotion only when the Absolute is defeated. That peculiar thing is devotion. That is Yogamaya. Devotion means leaving everything and saying, we want devotion only. If we get devotion, the Absolute will come to our door. Devotion is such. Devotion is all in all. Where is it found that the servant has defeated the master? That is devotion. There you can trace what is devotion. Aham bhakta paradhino yasvatantra ivadvija. My absolutism is forgotten at that time. I forget that. I go as one of them sometimes. I approach them to serve. That peculiar thing is devotion. It is so high. How will this worldly energy and knowledge cope with it? Devotion means mystique, miracle. Goptritve Varana is to invite him as our protector, and Rakshishyati Vishvaso is to believe that he will surely protect me. The first part is to invite him, to pray to him, please protect me, I am under your protection, accept me. And then to maintain the idea that he will surely protect me. In all possible danger he will come. 2 parts. Sharanagati is one and the same, but if analyzed, then these parts are found there. Forbearance. We should not think that our path is to be very smooth. So many troubles may come from outside. In India, when you go out in the streets with the kirtan party, so many may come and say, you monkeys, lal bandar, you red-faced monkeys. These things must come to you from so many directions, in so many forms of hindrances and opposition. They will come and try to affect you, to dissuade you from this path. But, tarorapi sahishnuna, the example of a tree is given, and that is analyzed. If somebody does not pour any water, the tree does not say, oh, give some water to me. If anyone is coming and disturbing, snatching the leaves, cutting the branches, even cutting the whole thing, the tree is silent, no opposition. We will rather try to see that insults, poverty, punishment, and unfavorable dealings are all coming to purify me. These things are necessary, and with the least punishment, I am going to be released. I have become connected with the highest object of life. But what price I am going to pay for that? What price? I am confident that I am going to attain the highest fulfillment of life. But what price is sufficient for that? It is inconceivable. Whatever little demand comes to be exacted from you, with a smiling face you have to accept that in consideration of your highest goal. If you are really confident, and you have faith in your brightest future, then what little price nature wants through these miscreants must be accepted. Submissively and modestly, that is the law of Mahaprabhu. Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanina manadhena. These things must be repeatedly preached. Trinadapi sunichena, means I must not be so rigid that I may not accommodate others. Taraurapi sahishnuna. If still someone is aggressive towards me, I shall try to tolerate. And amani. I must never insist on any fame from the environment. Still, I will always be ready to give honor to all. With this attitude, we should march on our way. This maxim should be given a very broad circulation. To become a Vaishnav, we must be deceit-free and have discipline of this type, and this comes from none other than Mahaprabhu himself. Once we were told that our Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj was doing Madhukari Bhiksha and going to his quarters. The people did not spare him also. The boys were pelting him with some small stones, and he remarked, "Krishna, you are cruelly dealing with me. I shall complain to Mother Yashoda about you." That was his outlook, harmonized. When anything came, he would say, "Oh Krishna, by philosophical calculation, without you nothing can happen. You are with these children and you are disturbing me, and I shall teach you a lesson. I know how to deal with you." In that way they take everything like that. That is our beacon light to adjust with things that are apparently unfavorable. A sweet adjustment is there. Don't give any opposition. Still, opposition will come to disturb you, and you must forbear that. You will accept them in such a way. We should not create resistance for the environment. If there is some attack, some undesirable thing comes towards me, I am to forbear that to my utmost patience. I am to silently tolerate. I won't harm. Our attitude should be this: whatever comes, this is earned by my previous karma. My previous karma has earned such an environment, and it is a necessity to teach me. And whenever my teaching will be finished, the environment will change. Whatever the circumstance, the environment may be undesirable, but if we are sincere, we must take it with a good motive, because the Lord has sent it. Without His sanction, nothing can happen. Not even a straw can move. I am put in such an unfavorable environment. He is seeing this thing, and as soon as this necessity ends, it will be removed, and I shall be placed in another environment. There is no error in His decision. In the divine decision, there cannot be any error. We have to face all circumstances with such an attitude. Tatte nukampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbir vidadan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadhayabak. One who lives his life while joyfully seeing everything as your mercy, even as he experiences the adverse conditions arising from his past deeds, and constantly pays respects to you with his mind, body, and words, is certain to attain your lotus feet, the object of all devotion. From the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-8. It is our environment, our own past deeds. I must not quarrel with what my own deeds have produced, but I must finish this effect. It is necessary for me. And as soon as the necessity will be finished, it will be withdrawn, and I will be put in another separate environment. We have to wait for the decision, the divine dispensation. That will be the highest policy. The most sacred, desirable, and helpful policy is everywhere. It will increase our faith in the Supreme. The supreme command of all environments may come now or in the future. This policy of a devotee will be most suitable and helpful. Tatte nukampam susamikshamano. The undesirable things have not come suddenly to punish me, but it is necessarily self-acquired, and it will get its fulfillment and then vanish, and I shall get another chance. But if I avoid this, it may be taken for now, but again it will come to clear my debt. With this attitude we shall face all circumstances, and that will be the best attitude of any progressive devotee. Following spiritual practices ordained by Scripture. There are innumerable practices of devotion. In Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Gosvāmī has given 64. Then again in Bhagavatam, we find 9. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishno, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Hearing about the Lord, chanting the Lord's glories, remembering Him, serving His lotus feet, worshipping His transcendental form, offering prayers to Him, becoming His servant, considering Him as one's best friend, and surrendering everything to Him. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. From the Srimad Bhagavatam 7:5-23. Mahaprabhu has again given 5 practices of devotion. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtana Bhagavat Shravana Mathuravasa Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevana. The quintessential practices of devotion are association with the pure devotee, chanting the holy name, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in Mathura Dham, and faithfully worshipping the deity. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22:128. Of these 5, Mahaprabhu has given Nam Sankirtan, chanting the holy name, the highest position. Nam Sankirtan is considered best of all, designated as such by the Acharyas. Our Guru Maharaj especially promoted Kirtan, as indicated by Shastra. But if other Acharyas have shown preference for Smarana in any instance, it is in the sense that Kirtan may be performed within the material environment, whereas Smarana is independent of any material consideration. From this point of view, Smarana may be deemed higher, but that is not accepted in a general way. It is a special opinion. But the serving attitude, Sevanmukata, that must be present in all types of bhakti. Otherwise, it is all imitation, and for millions of lives we may imitate without any success. Asadhu sangete bhai, nama nahi hai, namakshara bahirai, bate nama kabhunai. O brother, you cannot chant the holy name in the association of non-devotees. The sounds of the holy name may come out of your mouth, but this will not really be the name. From the Prema Vivarta 7:1-3. Jadi karibe Krishna nama sadhu sangakar. Only with the help of the devotees we may invite that electric connection. That may connect us with the higher place, and if he is pleased to come down and connect with this body, then this body can show bhakti. Otherwise it is all imitation. Imitation won't take us to that plane. Sadhu Sangha, the dynamo, is necessary to move the fan, to light the light bulb. Without Sadhu Sangha we cannot connect with the higher level. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai sevan mukhe hi jihvado svayam eva spuratyadha. The holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Krishna are divine and transcendental. They cannot be experienced by material senses. The Lord manifests Himself spontaneously on the tongue of a devotee who is eager to serve Him. From the Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu 1:2-234. The universal necessity is to learn and acquire a serving attitude, and if that is applied to our bhajan, that will be of great help to us. Jihva means the tongue, and Namadi means the Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Lila. On the tongue the Lord's name will appear, within the eye His form, within the mind His qualities, and in the heart His pastimes. All these will come down to you, and everything about you will connect with that Vaikuntha Tattva. It is not just a question of increasing the quantity, but the quality must be present. To be real bhakti, sevanmukha and seva presuppose surrender, and all this presupposes sadhu sangha. It all originates from the association of a sadhu. From the positive direction it can come to us, So, we must be thankful to that positive source. The Lord is there, but His grace is coming through His agents. His agents should be welcomed and dealt with properly. Whatever we can collect with our energy, we should devote towards Sadhu and Shastra. Sadhu and Shastra are our two friends everywhere. Renouncing material association. If there is only one practice of a student of the Vaishnava school, then that is utsāhān-niścayād, to renounce bad association. That does not mean that the sadhu is also eliminated if he is found. Utsāhān-niścayād e Vaishnavāchār, Śrī Sangi eka Sādhu, Krishna Bhakta Ar. It is the policy of a Vaishnav to reject mundane association, such as those who are overly attached to women and people averse to Krishna Bhakti. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 2287. There are two types of achar, practice. One is Strisangi, or Yoshita Sangi, those that are attached to sensual pleasure. Another is Krishna Bhakta, one who has no attraction for Krishna, but is engaged in some other errand. We should be careful and follow the caution against these two. Sense enjoyers and those that have no relation to Krishna, this is our only practice. They may be scholars or yogis, they may be so many things, but if they are not devotees of Krishna, they should be eliminated. It is said a man is known by his company. The test that is the criterion is whether he is hankering for the association of the good or for the material environment. Whichever way his taste progresses should be looked upon. What does he like? Does he have more and more affinity towards the sadhus and the shastra? Is the environment progressively increasing his taste for that particular thing? That will prove whether we are making progress or deteriorating. It can be known by the measurement of our external environment. Am I standing still? Am I going back? Internal satisfaction will also stand guarantee. I shall be my own witness from within, whether I am gaining or losing. My own understanding will stand guarantee. Bhakti pareshānubhavo viraktir, anyatra chaisha trika eka kala, prapadyamanasya yatashnatāsyus, tushti pushti kshuddhapayo nughasam. Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things. These three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Lord, in the same way that pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger come simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11:2-42. In Bhagavatam, it is mentioned how we should measure our progress. A mundane example has been given. When we are hungry, we take food, and when we take food, three things occur simultaneously. What are they? Tushti, pushti, kshuddhapayo. When we are hungry, we feel uneasiness, and with every morsel we take, the uneasiness is removed. When we are hungry, we feel weakness. With every morsel of food, gradually the weakness is removed. And kshuddhapayo. When we are hungry, we feel the pain, and that also disappears step by step with every morsel. Similarly, when we are progressing in our spiritual life towards the divine, we shall experience three things, and we are to measure them carefully. What are they? Bhakti pareshānubhava and virakti. Bhakti means a serving tendency, and our attraction increases with acceleration. Pareshānubhava means some sort of accurate conception of the subjective world, superseding my subject on the other side. At first our conception may be hazy, but gradually it will become clearer. Virakti. We will withdraw from the environment and feel disgust with the stale experience of this world. The negative side loses its charm as the positive side gives us a peep into the world of the super-subjective. Bhakti pareshanubhavo viraktir. These three things must be there when we are making our journey. Following in the footsteps of Sādhus. The footsteps of the Mahajanas, Sādhus, are our only hope. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. We have to depend on that only for our relief. Their footsteps are like so many lighthouses to guide us across the infinite ocean. A hope in the infinite. Vaikuntha means infinite, but Shraddha contains within it good faith and good hope. Shraddha means surcharged with some good hope in the infinite. Vaikuntha is infinite, and Shraddha is our only means to draw the attention of the infinite to us. The only way is Shraddha, and by Shraddha we can attract the infinite. There is nothing else. And when it gets a definite form through bhava, it becomes prema, divine love. Columbus floated his ships in the ocean, and gradually he went to the Americas. He found land. Similarly, after crossing this universe, we may find the spiritual cosmos, Vaikuntha. And Shraddha is the light in the darkness. Only Shraddha can guide us there. We are travelers in the infinite ocean. In the Bhagavatam are the footsteps of those great personages that have traveled on the way. The broad line chalked out by the footsteps of those that are going to the divine world. Only that should be our surest guide. All else may be eliminated, because calculation is fallible, and all justification comes from the absolute infinite. Any form of justification can come from anywhere, at any time. We are floating in a boat in the infinite ocean. Anything may come to help or to hinder. Only our optimistic good faith can be our guide. Nrideham adhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam gurukaranadharam mayanukulena nabasvateritam puman bhavabdhim natharet sa atmaha. The human body can award all benefit in life and is automatically obtained by the laws of nature. Although it is a very rare achievement, this human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the Guru as the captain and the instructions of the Lord as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize this human life to cross the ocean of material existence should be considered the killer of his own soul. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11:20-17. Guru Karanadharam. The Guru is the guide. In the infinite ocean, I have boarded my small boat, and the destination is uncertain and inconceivable to me. But it is conceivable to my Gurudev, and I am going on with that sincere faith within me. Svayam samutirya sudustaram dhyuman, bhavarnavam bhimam adabhrasorida, bhavat patamboruha navamatrate, nidhayayata sad anugraho bhavan. O effulgent one, your mercy towards your devotees is unlimited. By your grace they take shelter of the boat of your lotus feet and cross over the ocean of material existence, which is difficult to cross. These devotees in their turn are so kind towards the conditioned souls that they keep this boat of your lotus feet in this material world for their redemption. From the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:2-31. It is a horrible ocean, with so many waves and so many sharks, timingila, whales, and other things, full of danger. Bhavat padam boruha navamatrate. The footsteps of the devotees are our only hope. We are to depend on that. It is only to our relief that so many lighthouses, their footprints, are in the infinite ocean to guide us to that place. The instructions of the Mahajanas are always true. but their conduct may not always be useful to the beginner. Their instructions are always useful, but not always their practices. A Mahājana may do something that may not be useful for my stage. He has got such spiritual power that a little defect may not harm him in any way in his practice. An intelligent person will accept those practices that are backed by his words. Ishvaranam vachas satyam tathaiva charitam kvachit tesham yatsva vacho yuktam buddhimams tat samacharet. The statements of great persons are always true, and the acts they perform are exemplary when consistent with those statements. Therefore, one who is intelligent should carry out their instructions. From the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-31. Ishvaranam vachas satyam. The leaders of the highest order, what they say, that is true. Vachas satyam. But sometimes their conduct is not always the same. Tathaiva charitam kvachit. Always try to follow their advice, but don't try to imitate their conduct. Charitam kvachit. An intelligent man will accept that conduct which is one and the same with their advice. Buddhimams tat samacharet. When he has realized a higher state, he may not be very ardent to follow the conduct of the lower stage. But when he comes to advise me, he will tell me what is necessary for my position. But he himself may not accept the same thing as his own conduct. He is above that. He has finished that class, and he is reading in a higher class. And when a student of that class comes, he gives the lessons of his level. Ishvaranam vachas satyam. Because he knows that he is giving advice to a particular section, he will always give advice in a proper line. Tathaiva charitam kvachit. But their own practice is not always the same as their advice. They themselves may go to a higher position. There is no necessity of that sort of practice, and an intelligent man will accept that conduct, which is always corroborated by his advice. We should not imitate, but rather we should follow. Not anukarana, imitation, but anusharana. Anusharana means to follow in the footsteps. We must understand the difference. Anusharana means sincerity, and anukarana is only for pratishta. Without inner purity, only to imitate things outwardly, to get the glory of being a sadhu. Anusharana means sincere progress from the heart. Anukarana is artificial. Once the renowned dramatist Girish Chandra Ghosh made one drama about Chaitanya Dev, and wanted Bhaktivinoda Thakur to open the drama, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a good name in the devotion to Chaitanya Dev. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur hatefully dismissed him. I am not going to give connection with this false thing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur dismissed this awkward imitation. I don't want to come in touch with that. Instead of trying to follow in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's footsteps, he was making a show of his connection. It was imitation. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur avoided. One prostitute, Vinodini, was selected to play the part of Chaitanya Dev. Then Ramakrishna was chosen instead of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he went to see the drama. That Vinodini began to cry, shedding tears while taking the name of Krishna, and Ramakrishna was very much impressed with that, so much so that the next morning he went to see that Vinodini. He told that prostitute, "You are very fortunate. You are taking the name of Krishna and shedding tears. You have created such an impression in me, I feel very fortunate, so I have come to see you again." And she was very ashamed. No, no, no. And Ramakrishna told her, "One that can rouse devotion in the hearts of so many, by shedding tears and all these things when playing Chaitanya Dev, she is not an ordinary person." In this way Ramakrishna eulogized her. But we are not a party to that. We don't recognize that. The Gaudiya Mat, the devotees of Prabhupada, they cannot accept such appreciation and such a false representation. It is all imitation, a sham, not real. It won't help our real progress. In a drama, a man may take the role of Narada Goswami and chant Hari Bol, and tears may appear from his eyes, but it is simply artificial. It may be articulated cent per cent to show these symptoms in the body and in the mind. One can learn the art without any touch of divinity. It is possible. Some people are naturally of that temperament. Very easily they can shed tears. Their temperament is such. And there are others who can learn the art of doing so. There are two classes of people who, without a slight touch of divinity, can show the public so many high sentiments. Without the least touch of Shuddha Sattva, they can freely exhibit all these things to deceive people. Devotion does not mean only to shed tears and to shiver and to wear tilak and tulsi and dance and chant. These are all external feats. We must not be misguided seeing these imitating aspects, these feats of devotion. We must try to save the ordinary people from the false exhibition of the higher Vaishnava's character.